Ambitions. I'm Dr. Tammy. I've been chatting here with Farrah from North Arkansas Home Care and home health nurse. We're talking a little bit about being a working mom and a female and how home health care is. And I think it's kind of cute because your mom just came in, and I know the folks out there can't see her, but she's got her baby on her. And you know, we got to do what we got to do as moms sometimes, and sometimes they go with us. And I know my son, he's 6 now, and I know he, you know, is at work with me a lot and sees the patients and kind of interacts with them. And I think that's great. I think that you sort of have to include them a little bit so that they can see the value of working.
Yes.
And
yes. Mine doesn't get to come to my office very much because he eats everything. And if I turn my head for a second, he's usually eating something.
Yeah, at this stage, and what is he? Is he a year yet?
He's 11 months old today.
Months. At that stage, they're really difficult to watch. I know when mine was that stage, we had a little room in the back, which is actually our kids' room now because all those toys kind of just stayed in there, but we had toys, and my mom would be back there, and we had a little baby gate over the door, and you know, he just played back there, but you couldn't really let him out of the baby gate because he'd be in all the patient rooms, and he'd be like, chewing on everything and sticking everything in his mouth. And good grief, in a medical clinic, that's the last thing you want, a baby sticking, you know, stuff in their mouths and being down on the floor and all that. But so is it hard? You kind of take breaks sometimes and get away to see him, and you have
well, I don't have the opportunity because I live, you know, 25 miles away.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
I'm very blessed to have a babysitter that comes to my home, so I don't have to, you know, lug him in and out anywhere.
Yeah, and in the cold and in the heat, and that's nice.
So I'm very blessed for that, and my husband is wonderful. He helps me a lot. You know, especially if I work late, I don't have to worry about anything. He takes care of everything. I try more often to go to work early if I have things that I know that I probably won't be able to get done instead of working late. So that way I leave when he's asleep and I can spend the evening time with him. That's what I try to do most days.
Now, did you breastfeed at all during that time?
Yes.
Because I remember that was kind of hard for me, that pumping and all that stuff kind of, you know, during the day. And I felt like I had to kind of rush home because I didn't really want to pump that evening meal. I wanted him to be able to breastfeed. And
I lug the pump back and forth every day.
Yeah, yeah. You got to learn to love your pump, that's for sure. Yeah, so he's done breastfeeding now. He's just doing regular food and all that. So that frees you up a little bit then.
Yes, he's a great baby. I'm very fortunate that he's a very good baby.
He's your first, right?
He is my first.
Do you think maybe any more, or you guys talked about it?
Yes, definitely another one. We'll probably wait, you know, at least probably another year. Try to get him
maybe out of diapers,
especially out of diapers, because I think that I probably support Pampers right now. I feel like that anyway.
I had no idea, you know, how expensive that was, and I really couldn't even relate to, you know, patients because they'd be like, you know, I can't even afford my diapers this month, and I thought, well, what, like $15? But no, it's like $60 for like, they're so expensive. It's unbelievable.
But I love being a mother. I love it. You know, it is hard having a career and being, you know, being a mom and a wife. And being the manager of a facility, there's a lot of stressors, and it's, you know, you have to try to leave your work at work, and then when you have that time with your child, spend your time with your child. So that's hard for me to do.
That is hard.
To leave it at work, and then, you know, I like the drive that I have. Most people don't like a drive to work. For me, it's kind of a time to decompress, and once I get home, try to, you know, no more phone calls. And just focus on my family.
Yeah, just kind of use that time to calm down. And even on the way to work, probably just to kind of think about things that you have to do for the day and process a little bit before you get there.
Write down my task as I'm
Yeah, I know. We live in Mountain Home and drive to Bull Shoals, so it's about a 25, 30-minute drive. And I kind of feel the same way. It's kind of, I think about all the things I do, and luckily my husband works with me, so he drives, and you know, I do all my texting and whatever I can get done to sort of get the day started. But yeah, I don't think it's as hard for the men as it is for the women. I'm not sure why that is working, because I don't think they just worry about things like we do worry about things at home.
I feel like women feel like that's expected of them. You know, as a wife and a mother, I mean, not that it's so much your spouse expects it out of you, but, you know, for me, I feel like I'm the mother, I'm the wife, you know, I need to cook dinner every so often, and, you know, I need to, not do I need to, but I want to rock my son to sleep at night. So, you know, sometimes if I work late, I'm on the phone saying, keep him awake so I can rock him to sleep, because I enjoy that, because I know when he gets big I won't have that opportunity.
You better watch that though, because mine's 6 and I still have to hold him to go to sleep. He's probably going to die when he hears that, but you know, I think it's okay, you know, because when you have to kind of baby them a little bit when they're young. But I'm the same way. If like I go out with some friends or something and, you know, get a bite to eat, I'm like, I feel like I have to rush home and be that mom role. But I think it's good for our children that we do feel that way, because there are so many parents out there who don't really care. So I mean, I think that's good that, you know, we can have the best of both worlds and enjoy our work and our friends and still want to go home and be with our children. Oh, so when you think about your home health stories and things, what's the youngest home health person that you may have ever called on? Because usually we think about the elderly when we think about home health.
We don't do a lot of pediatrics. Probably the youngest patient that we've ever taken has been 7 or 8.
And as far as like moms coming home from like C-sections and that sort of thing, do you ever have any call for that? I would think that they're still pretty self-sufficient.
Most of them, yes. I think if my numbers are correct, we've had 1 in the last 2.5 years.
I could have sure used a home health nurse though when I came home from my C-section, because I couldn't move. And I remember, you know, just carrying my son, and we had some stairs. I remember my incision broke open, and I shouldn't have been doing that. And, you know, just to have a little bit of help in the home, I think would have been really nice.
What we see most, you know, as far as that, because most women, you know, are young and, you know, they recover very quickly. When we're young, we're resilient, and we just recover fast. Would be, you know, if their surgical incision wasn't healing like it should, and usually that's it if they require like IV antibiotics when they get home. But generally, because you have to be homebound to qualify for home care.
Right, they're going to be driving and all that stuff.
So there's a very fine line there.
I bet you have a lot of people that's really hard to keep that rule with, because they really need your services, but they can still get in the car potentially if they need to and drive somewhere.
It's very difficult as a nurse, because you want to help them really bad, but you also have a license to keep. So you know, you have to be ethical, and you have to be honest. So, you know, like I tell my staff, you do what's right, and, you know, we'll do fine.
And there are some scary things you kind of mentioned to me. You can get fleas from patient homes and some domestic violence. You had some people fighting on you and that sort of thing. How do you sort of handle those situations when they come up? Do you just sort of try to get out as quickly as you can, or just kind of deal with them?
Like I tell my nurses, you know, if you ever feel like your safety is in jeopardy, get out. Because, you know, not only am I responsible for the patient, I'm also responsible for the nurses. So if they ever feel like, you know, their safety is in any jeopardy, you know, or even if you feel like the creek is too high to cross, you know, don't cross the creek in your car. You know, we will call them and we'll check on them and see if there's an alternate route to get to them. But, you know, you have to maintain the nurse's safety as well. Or, you know, in the instance, you know, if we have to, you know, we can get a police escort in there and take care of it.
People get lost a lot. I bet you get some crazy directions.
I probably get lost more than anybody else. I'm geographically challenged.
Yeah, me too.
So as a home health nurse, that's kind of
I could never do that. No, that wouldn't work for me.
Golly, these nurses that, you know, are doing it all day long, every day, they're good. They can find their way around anywhere.
What's the furthest you've ever had to go for a patient to see?
Well, our service area, you know, we're the branch of a provider in Salem. So as our provider, we have a 50-mile radius. We cannot go into Missouri, and then as far west we go to Yaleville, and then our office here at Mountain Home, we go to Jeep, and then the office in Salem picks up from there, and they go east. And then south we go to Norfolk area, because we also have another an agency that's owned by the same company as us. We're not the same. We don't work off the same provider number or don't have the same staff, but they're located at Calico Rock. So they pick up from Norfolk and go
That's a big radius.
Before the Calico Rock office opened, we had a patient in Harriet. That's quite a drive. As the crow flies, you know, it's still in your service area, but the winding roads make it a very long drive. And then Promised Land is a pretty good drive there, and I'm trying to think where else. You know, your Yellville, that some of those roads get long and winding, but for the most part, you know, the service area is not bad. And we schedule our nurses so that we have different teams, and we have teams per geographic area. That way, you know, if this patient calls, we, you know, have a nurse in that area that can scoot over and see them if they need something, to try to keep nurses located throughout the service area.
Consistency with the same nurse going to the same.
Yes, we try very hard to do that. It's very difficult, especially this time of year when everybody wants vacations and such. But you know, we try very hard to do that.